Welcome to thestockminer.com. I'm your stockminer Brian Johnson, and we saw that big pop up. Here's that little holiday spring that I had been looking for here. I thought maybe we would get this earlier in the week, maybe Monday or Tuesday, as opposed to waiting all the way until Wednesday. Uh, just as I said, markets just tend to get a little bit more happy, a little bit more cheerful around this time of year. I don't know if I would necessarily call this really bullish. I mean, yeah, we're up about 20 points today. We're back up about a 1.5%, but we're really not going anywhere. We're just wandering sideways. It's been days of down, consolidate, quick day up, consolidate, fast move down, consolidate, and now here we go again, quick move back to the upside within the markets. And what are we doing? Bouncing between the 20 and the 50. Those are the two marks I've been telling you to watch here for the last week or so, and sure enough, they're holding very, very well, even to the end of today. So as we enter the Thanksgiving break, keep in mind that even though we will be celebrating Thanksgiving over here, the rest of the world, they don't necessarily care about our Thanksgiving. So they will continue to move, which means the markets will continue to move at least up and into Friday. Friday would be an abbreviated day, but we're still waiting for the same type of break. Some of you have been sitting on your hands for a while. It's been frustrating. The moves have not been too bad if you are a intraday trader or if you're a futures trader. If you're not familiar with how to trade the futures, I would really recommend it's something you maybe learn how to do down the road at some point. As I've said before, it's covered in my mentoring course, but it is really useful. The futures are traded all day and all night long, so even when the markets aren't open, you can still trade, make a little bit of money in the after hours, as well as catching some of these overnight pops. You know how you wake up in the morning and it gaps up, then on the SPY, or it gaps up on the one of the other ETFs, and you're like, well, how do you catch those moves? Well, actually, the best way to catch those moves is overnight. Catch them when they happen, and you can do that via the futures if you know how to play the futures or what you're doing there. So certainly something you should think about, especially coming into the holiday season. Things tend to slow down a little bit and give you a lot more time to study on things like this. So here we are, trapped between the 20 and the 50, waiting for breaks above or below these levels. Next chance to do that will be, of course, on Friday. NASDAQ did break above this blue line today, saw the big gap. Now, notice how the gap happened. The gap did not just arbitrarily fly one place or another. Look how it happened to start right on the blue line I had drawn in here. These lines make a huge difference if you get them right. So this from the onset told me that this could be a good jump to the day, just because it started right here and shot itself upwards afterwards. Got that spring above 2150. That was really the entry that I've been talking about, and that was good for at least 10 points today within the NASDAQ itself. Back above the 20-day moving average as well. So now we have yet again another close above the 20-day. I still want confirmation. If it comes back down, I want to know that it's going to hold. So we'll see if this continues its run into Friday. But you can see, still looking pretty bullish here anyway. A nice Thanksgiving pop for the NASDAQ. Staying up here on the 2160 area and putting in what looks to be right now on a weekly just a high base, kind of a pullback type formation, more of a pullback than anything here. Formation within the NASDAQ. This is a weekly candle. I'm going to wait to reserve judgment on all of it until Friday closes. Then we'll talk more about that. SPX 60-minute doing the same thing. Move down, consolidate up. Here's a little move down. Then we move back up today. You can see it just bouncing along, looking to make it either above 1200 or below this 1175-ish area, 1170-ish area, staying within the 20 and the 50. So once again, just closing below the 20-day moving average, but consolidation in through here. Now, bias is always more bullish coming into the holiday season, but this thing is really consolidating and can break either way. It's so important that you wait for a break one way or the other before you take that trade. Weekly, same thing. Notice how we are back above the 20-week moving average, but let's see where we close on Friday. to really, really validate this as a move. Any kind of major news that comes out could change this candle by the time Friday closes. So I'll reserve judgment. We'll talk about that Friday. VIX on a daily, this thing is all over the map. You can see it coming back down to retest this blue line right here. It's very, very volatile right now. It's been moving very heavily along with the moves in the market. Here you can see it kind of still staying within, at, on, above, whatever you want to look at for this little wedge formation we've been looking at. Point being, once again, no fear in the markets. Nobody's really panicking right now, and no reason they should. Coming into Thanksgiving, not a whole lot of reason to get overly necessarily bearish on the markets at this point in time. So this, as long as it stays high, does leave room to both move up and or move down. VIX is really, really in a very, very neutral spot right now. Apple 60 minutes saw a big gap to start the day up and over that 310 area we talked about. Would have loved to have it run up and through. It's not the case, but even so, from the very onset of the day, from 312 ran all the way up to 314, so pushes above that 310 mark, still made for a very bearish or bullish move. You can see here that there was definitely some money to be made within Apple today from an intraday basis, but it's kind of choppy in through here. Going to want to be careful with this. Even coming into Friday, you want to be careful with this. Don't recommend holding over the weekend, and let's just reevaluate next week, see what kind of movement the market wants to give us. Apple weekly, as you can see, putting in this high base, still remaining neutral to bullish on it. So come next week, I would, at this point, gut feeling tell you that, yeah, I would expect it to maybe break up, if anything, next week, and maybe see a little move up and over that 320-ish mark, which is our next more major place to go long. And maybe trail that into Christmas. I might be able to reach this 330, 340-ish area or more by the time Christmas rolls around. Markets are going to have to help us out, though. Gotta be careful. Markets have got to help us out. FAS 60 minute broke over this blue line here, held, and then popped at the end of the day. But overall, not a lot of movement today, not a lot of trading to be done. You can see most of it happened on actually the gap. We did get back up above that $22 mark, but as for FAS and FAZ, nothing really much to talk about here. Maybe a little shorting opportunity here, but I still like it better below the $12 mark. So no trading within these today. Maybe they give us some more movement over the weekend or into next week. Look how we had that one day we broke above, and I'm like, ugh, this is looking more bullish for FAZ if it'll hold this blue line on a retest, and it didn't. Fell right back into it. Still a lot of volatility in the banks. A lot of volatility in the bank. So you need to be very, very cautious playing FAS, FAZ. Not much to talk about here except below $12. Maybe you could play it back for 20 cents into this 20-period moving average area come Friday. I really like it better above 13. That's really my my larger place to get long if you want to try a long position within this. That'll be your Friday levels. That'll do it for today. A big move up, but most of it happened on the gap. We kind of trickled up most of the day, so overall, not a bad move for the markets from a bullish standpoint. But as you can see, stuck between moving averages, guys. Sitting and waiting. Sitting and waiting. Wait for those breaks one way or the other. I'll be back with you again, not tomorrow. You guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving day off. Enjoy it with your family. Eat lots of turkey. Eat lots of whatever it is you guys have. We have like turkey. We have, pretty common. Turkey and pumpkin pie, and Grandma makes twice baked potatoes, which are fabulous. We actually have some very, very, very good cooks in the family, so I eat very well. That would I usually put on, for those of you that have ever been to college, they talk about the freshman 10 or the freshman 20. Yeah, I kind of put on the holiday 10. By the time Christmas is over with, I'm just a fat pig. I love it. So you guys enjoy your holidays. I'll be back with you again on Friday. Bye.